A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to the Vlog-A-Thon here. What I got is that I basically want to talk a couple more things about gaming with Kaiju Force Neo, because I feel like that there are some rather misleading things going on about the new Modern Warfare, as it turns out, because after all, Modern Warfare is already an existing title in the franchise of Call of Duty itself. Modern Warfare was first released in 2007 for the PlayStation 3, as well as for the Xbox 360 and the Nintendo Wii. And it did get itself a remastered version 10 years later across all platforms in 2017. So, this new one here, though, is supposedly known as a soft reboot, which does in fact reincarnate the story itself, but it's just taught in a much more different spectrum. Soft reboots are not like traditional reboots, which they just completely recap a certain story and bring it back for a new generation. But this Modern Warfare here is definitely not the Modern Warfare we grew up with. It's not the Modern Warfare we know and love. It is something else. So, I feel like though that the message here that I'm bringing out is based on the fact that the name itself is pretty misleading. And considering the fact that this wasn't released in November of 2019, about 2 years after the remastered version of the original had been released, this Modern Warfare here, though, the more recent one that is, it shouldn't even be called Modern Warfare, because it doesn't even try to concede with the actual story that had first been brought onto the world. Its plotline is much different, and I mean much different, because I played through about 2 hours into the campaign mode, and I could confirm that it is definitely not the same Modern Warfare. It shouldn't in fact be called Modern Warfare, because of this new change that we are seeing here, because of things that are so different apart from the story that we already know about in the first Modern Warfare installment in the series. It's clear that it should be known as Modern Warfare Retold, simply because it retells a story, but it tells a whole different story. It just tells us something different, possibly for a new generation of gamers out here who are just looking forward to seeing what lies within the end of this new generation in gaming. Because after all, starting this year, there are in fact going to be some more unveilings of the next generation of game consoles out there, including the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet. So, I feel like that should clear up people's curiosity as to how confusing it must be for those who have no idea that the new Modern Warfare has no real connection to the first Modern Warfare in any case. Simply because, not only because it's been 12 years since the first one had originally been released across all platforms in that generation, but because we're in another generation and that we are getting close to getting to another generation of game consoles, it's clear by now that the Modern Warfare released in November 2019 should indeed be known as Modern Warfare Retold. And hopefully people out there might understand the message that's being brought out to by me and probably other people out there who also have the same problem with misleading because of what the title says. So, if you want to see more, go down on my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.